You know, it wasn't that long ago that every new social media post about a new firearm was followed by a comment, "Yeah, but is it available in 6.5 Creedmoor?" Well, the 308 6.5 Creedmoor memes were pretty epic for a while. Today, let's leave the memes and the man buns behind and talk about the differences between the 308 and the cartridge everyone loves to hate, the 6.5 Creedmoor. Welcome back to the channel. So, as you've already surmised, today's topic, 308 versus 6.5 Creedmoor. Whether you're building a precision rifle, a hunting rifle, or a real badass AR-10 truck gun, knowing the differences between these two cartridges is probably going to save you some headaches down the road, as well as a little bit of cash. Let's start off with Ballistic Performance. The 6.5 Creedmoor, well, it was conceived on the NRA competition fields. Thus, a flatter shooting, higher ballistic coefficient projectile that far outperforms the 308, especially at distance. In contrast, the 308 drops much faster and is not nearly as resistant to wind drift. The clear winner, 6.5 Creedmoor. So, if you're looking for tighter groups at a longer distance, 6.5 Creedmoor is going to be your winner. Next up, shootability and recoil. The 6.5 Creedmoor has substantially less recoil than the 308. That's due to a lighter weight projectile and a more efficient powder charge. That's important in competitive shooting for that follow-up shot. The 308, well, that has about 25% greater recoil than the 6.5 Creedmoor. That's something to be concerned with if you're a really small child or perhaps an adult with a very poor constitution. So the conclusion can only be 6.5 Creedmoor. Less recoil, faster follow-up shots, and fewer tears. Next up, cost and availability. There's a lot of 308 out there. Military surplus rounds, hunting rounds, target ammo. You can pretty much find it at any store. And 6.5 Creedmoor, that's not going to be the same. You're going to find limited availability, and if you're buying your ammo at the local post office and feed store, don't expect to see any 6.5 Creedmoor on the shelf. So the winner here, well, 6.5, if you hand load, isn't going to be that much of a problem. But if you're looking for a bucket of ammo or you shoot a whole lot, 308 is the way to go. So what about barrel life and maintenance? Well, 6.5 Creedmoor, that's a hotter round. If you've ever shot 204 Ruger, you absolutely know what velocity does to barrel life. Well, here's the thing. Material science and physics aside, if you take care of the barrel, you're going to get longer life out of it. Cleaning it and decoppering it absolutely extends its lifespan. But here's the thing, 308 is slower and fatter. You're not going to have nearly the same velocity, and honestly, in something like an AR-10, a 308 barrel is going to last quite some time. So in conclusion, if you're looking for longer barrel life, 308 is probably the round to go with. So what are you going to do with a rifle? Well, here's where the big choice comes in. Hunting, 6.5 and 308, they're both pretty comparable. Now, some folks are going to say 6.5, flatter trajectory, more energy past 600 yards. That's perfectly fine. But here's the thing. Are you going to make an ethical kill at 600 yards? Where most folks are going to be hunting at that 300 yards and in, you're going to see that 308 and 6.5 are pretty comparable. Now, PRS, that's a whole different story. I'm going to choose a 6.5 Creedmoor. I want something that shoots flat and is more resistant to wind drift. Tactical and law enforcement stuff? Well, there's a whole mix of questions that you have to answer. But I can tell you this, 308 has been out there and it's a very reliable round, and you're going to find a lot more data when it comes to the efficiency and the effectiveness of 308 in law enforcement and tactical environments. But there's a whole new generation of 6.5 aficionados that are pulling that 6.5 round into those tactical and law enforcement environments with great success. So think of it like this. Longer range, 6.5 Creedmoor is the way to go. Longer barrel life, greater versatility, and cheaper ammo, 308, that pretty well fills the bill. But honestly, there's no wrong answer. Both of these rounds are exceptional for AR-10 platforms. Hey, thanks again for your time today. Hit like and subscribe, and as always, if you've got any comments, please add it to the comments section below. You guys have a great afternoon.